Did you know that? You can watch all fighting and boxing pay-per-view at no extra cost. On FluxVIX.com, you can access to 1,000 live channels plus the last movies and series at a fraction of the cost of regular services. For more information, go to FluxVIX.com or scan the QR code on the screen.
Dana White has just broken down the upcoming heavyweight clash between Tom Aspinall and Ciryl Gane.
He can see Tom going on to dominate the heavyweight division for years to come, go down as the greatest MMA fighter of all time. Do you see him capable of achieving that?
But when you start talking, he won this fight tonight, he could be the greatest of all time. Again, you know how I feel about Jon Jones, even being within Jon Jones' universe, in my opinion.
I interviewed Tom Aspinall in London.
Another one.
He wants to fight Jon Jones.
He wants to fight everybody, man.
He thinks he'll beat Jon Jones.
Yes, he does. I love it. I love that. And a young, aggressive, talented heavyweight that he actually wants to fight all the best. The problem in this business is you have guys that say a lot of things publicly, but behind the curtains don't mean it. You know, don't really want these fights. Tom Aspinall is not that guy. Tom Aspinall wants to fight all the best in the world, and I love that.
How good is he?
Very good. We're going to find out, though. You know, we make this Jon Jones fight, and obviously a fight like that for a young, talented heavyweight, you know, and if he can win, he can beat Jon Jones, it's life-changing.
He's got an amazing self-confidence. I mean, he just exudes calm, almost chilling self-confidence.
If you're a fighter, you better have that.
Yeah.
That's what you'd have to have. If you want to be one of the all-time greats, that's exactly what you have to have.
And the MMA community is fired up. This isn't just another fight, it's one of the biggest heavyweight showdowns in years. And Dana knows exactly what's on the line for both men. Dana has praised Tom Aspinall for a long time, calling him one of the most talented heavyweights he has ever seen. He points to Tom's speed, his fight IQ, and his ability to finish fights with a level of precision that you just don't see at heavyweight.
Here's a question with Aspinall. What happens with Aspinall in the second round? If you want to talk about a guy who sprints, I don't think anybody moves like that guy does. He beat everybody else's ass too. All the other heavyweights, ragdoll dudes way bigger than him. He's just a freak, and he is again the next the next advancement of the evolution of the sport.
How so?
Well, because he can do everything. That guy's got elite jiu-jitsu. He's got elite takedowns. His striking is outstanding. Like, I've seen a lot of heavyweight, even Francis, who's like the greatest, scariest power striker I've ever seen in the heavyweight division. No one's scarier than Francis. Francis does not move like Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall is significantly faster than every other heavyweight. That's a real problem. At a 250 plus pound frame, his movement's extraordinary. And that's something you have to deal with. Like, that is a crazy ability. Like, his ability to move, like the way he moves, is so much different than everybody else in the sport. He moves like a 175 pounder. He doesn't move like a 250 pound guy. Incredible stand up, knocks guys out with one punch, black belt in jiu-jitsu, really good wrestler, his everything, and he's young.
So what's your prediction if it happens?
It's hard to bet against Jon.
What do you think about Aspinall and Ciryl Gane? Like, who do you think you will win? Is the winner something that interests you?
Cara, ali é uma luta assim difícil, né? Mas, igual Tom Aspinall, campeão, vem mais confiante. Mas assim, eu vejo que ele lutou com atletas também, assim, muito agressivo, entendeu? E ele tá levando a melhor ali, mas acho que o Ciryl Gane, ele é um cara assim mais, que movimenta mais. É um cara que não gosta de se expor, entendeu? Um pouco ali de medo e tal. Então, quando você tem um certo medo, um receio, você acaba não tomando muitos golpes. Então, a gente vai ver. Vamos ver, porque de repente ele pode frustrar um pouco, né? O Tom Aspinall ali, de passa ali primeiro, segundo, terceiro round, vai levando pro final. A gente não sabe como que ele vai se comportar também.
It's a tough fight, you know. Tom is a complete fighter, but I do feel like he's fought a lot of aggressive guys, and I think Gane is a guy who's going to do a lot of movement. He's going to be a little more cautious and you know, just moving around a lot, and might frustrate Tom. You know, so first, second, third round, maybe Tom can't find Ciryl Gane, so I think it's going to be a different fight. We'll see.
Você acha que a sua carreira vai terminar no semi-completo ou completo?
Bom, na verdade não dá para responder isso, né? Eu gostaria, né, de futuramente, né? Porque meu peso vai subindo, né? Então, não sei quanto tempo eu consigo fazer isso. 38 anos, não sei. Vou fazendo do jeito que eu tô fazendo, dando um passo de cada vez e a gente vai vendo o que acontece.
Would you like to finish your career light heavyweight or heavyweight? I really don't know. We'll have to see. You know, obviously my body gets heavier. I don't know how long I can cut to 205. So we're just going to have to see and take it fight by fight.
Ciryl tweeted that he thinks you should be careful what you wish for. He'll see you in Paris. How do you think you match up against Ciryl?
Did you know that? You can watch all fighting and boxing pay-per-view at no extra cost. On FlexVIX.com, you can and access to 1,000 live channels plus The Last of Us, movies and series at a fraction of the cost of regular services. For more information, go to FlexVIX.com or scan the QR code on the screen.
I better be careful, apparently. Yeah. I think I match up pretty well against him. I think I'm equally as fast as him. I move equally as well. The difference is I can grapple. I've got a lot of power. And I think that's pretty undeniable at this stage of my career. I've got a lot of knockouts on my record, mate. I have to touch you once, and I wasn't even throwing heavy tonight. I thought it was going to be a 5-rounder. I didn't mean to knock him out. I was pretty sure that was going to be a 5-round fight tonight, and just takes one shot, mate, at heavyweight, especially with me throwing him.
Has even admitted that Aspinall looks like the future of the division, a fighter who could dominate for years if he continues to evolve. On the other side, Dana has always respected Ciryl Gane. He's called him one of the best pure athletes in the UFC, a man with elite footwork, striking skills, and movement that doesn't even look human for someone his size. Dana has said before that Gane is one of the most dangerous strikers in the sport, and that when he's on point, he looks nearly untouchable. So
finally, we're back after over a year hiatus. Everybody knows, I don't have to explain what's gone on, but this is no fault of my own that I've been off for a year. Me and Ciryl finally signed on the dotted line around about this time last year when I fought in Manchester, fought Curtis Blades. The original opponent was Ciryl Gane. Unfortunately, Ciryl Gane was busy that day. Ciryl was filming his Netflix series. Can't remember what it's called, but I'm sure you can check it out now on Netflix. Ciryl was doing that, so he couldn't make that date either, and now we are matched up for the 25th of October, Abu Dhabi. Me and Ciryl. The 4th attempt is here, and this is Cyryl's 3rd title shot. So we are going to try and get rid of Ciryl Gane in the title picture for good. Well, I am the best heavyweight in the world, but I want to show everyone that I'm the best heavyweight in the world. And I want to give him his 3rd title shot loss and get him out of there.
Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane is official, and I cannot wait to see some of your reactions when Ciryl Gane gets a unanimous decision over Tom Aspinall. Now, that's not an official prediction from me, at least not yet, but I think some of you guys need to realize how close this fight really could be. I know the common expectation here is that Tom Aspinall is just going to walk through Ciryl Gane in the first round, whether by knockout or whether by grappling. Everybody thinks Tom Aspinall is going to make it look easy. But if that happens, I would be very, very surprised. Ciryl Gane is being underrated here. People are very down on Ciryl Gane right now, and understandably so. He got submitted in the very first round by Jon Jones, and also he didn't look great against Volkov. He won the decision, but a lot of people thought he lost. I'm telling you guys right now, in a 5-round fight, if Ciryl Gane could avoid the big shot, I actually think he has a really, really solid chance of winning. People say Tom Aspinall is the most agile heavyweight of all time, but don't forget, before Tom Aspinall, everybody was saying that about Ciryl Gane. And in my opinion, Ciryl Gane beat Francis Ngannou on the scorecards, and some people would argue Francis Ngannou at that time was the greatest heavyweight we had ever seen. So I am going to withhold from making an official prediction right now, but do not be surprised if I end up picking Ciryl Gane over Tom Aspinall, and do not be surprised if it happens.
Tom Aspinall is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. What's the first step for him?
You give him the one contender, Ciryl Gane. Ciryl Gane is somebody that's a big heavyweight, that's very agile. I don't think Tom Aspinall gets rid of him right away like he has with other people. And I think that'll be a big indication if Jon Jones wants to come back and reclaim that bout once again.
I think you're absolutely right. Fight that makes sense. Tom Aspinall, Ciryl Gane. Let's make that happen. Ciryl Gane is, people forget how fantastic he is. A guy that can kind of float around the octagon, touch you, kick you, hit you with elbow. He's just a complete game. But man, Tom's movement, his boxing, speed, and his power, it's very, very difficult to doubt this man anymore.
Of course, Tom Aspinall recently became the official undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. You know the story, we know what happened. Jon Jones vacated, walked away, retired as the GOAT, whatever you want to call it. Of course, he now wants to come back. He's back in the testing pool. He's going to fight at the White House if you ask Jon Jones. That's a whole other video. That's a whole other story. We've talked about that a million times. Tom is the undisputed champion and he's taking on Ciryl Gane. Enjoy this moment right here because it ain't going to last, because I'm going to knock Ciryl Gane out just like I have done everybody else. And then you can all shut the f up. That's what Tom should have said. That's what I would have said. But of course, that's not Tom's style. What he did say, though, was that he's excited to fight Ciryl Gane because he's knocked out everyone else in the top 5.
I mean, there was nobody else to fight.
Now, I'm not trying to make a dick out of Tom Aspinall, but when I look at the rankings, Tom Aspinall, obviously the champ, Ciryl Gane, the #1 contender, hasn't fought him, of course. Alexander Volkov, we know that he beat him very, very easy, took him down, submitted him. Sergey Pavlovich, that's when he became the interim champ. Curtis Blades, he's beaten him. But he hasn't fought Jailton Almeida and he hasn't fought Waldo Cortez Acosta. But who cares? He is the best finisher in all of the sport. He's one of the biggest. He's got massive power. He's got dynamite in his hands. He's got wrestling. He's got a ground game. But Ciryl Gane, I'm telling you, this man is coming for the throne.
What happens when these two collide? Dana White has hinted that this fight comes down to who can impose their style. If Ciryl Gane keeps the fight standing, using his movement and precision striking, he has a real chance to frustrate Aspinall and take control. But if Aspinall closes the distance, mixes in his grappling, and brings the pressure, then Gane could be in serious trouble. The aftermath is just as important. If Tom Aspinall wins, Dana believes he cements himself as the true face of the heavyweight division.
When Tom Aspinall got matched up against Ciryl Gane, he had a plan to get his revenge. Because although he pretended to pay his respect backstage, he later made a video exposing Ciryl ducking him.
Ciryl Gane was in attendance, won the fight. Matchmakers came to me and they said, "Do you want to fight Ciryl?" I said, "Absolutely." A day later, I got the phone call, Ciryl Gane doesn't want to fight me.
Tom then went ahead and won another fight in the first round. But when he was in the front row of Cyryl's fight, Ciryl got asked about fighting him next, but turned it down in the octagon.
I know a lot of people talk about Aspinall, but this doesn't make sense for me.
Then UFC came to London, and Tom was supposed to fight Ciryl, but he was busy filming his Netflix series that day, so he ended up fighting Curtis and won in the first round. And now, a year later, they've been matched up again.
This is the 4th time they've matched up together.
Who do you think is going to win this fight?
He's dismissed me on multiple occasions, and I'm not the first guy that he's dismissed. The reason that I got the Pavlovich fight was because Ciryl didn't want it. He then ducked Curtis Blades. I just don't like the way he does stuff professionally, because that's the opposite to what I do. I'm here to prove I'm the best, not duck out of fights with people.
We finally got Tom Aspinall, Ciryl Gane. Chael, we've been screaming about this Tom Aspinall, Ciryl Gane for a long time. UFC 321, Tom minus 325, Gane plus 260. We finally got the fight, but the world doesn't seem to believe, Chael, that it's a close fight. And I don't really agree with that line. I think this fight is much closer. Tom Aspinall minus 325, Ciryl Gane plus 260. And we finally got Tom Aspinall, Ciryl Gane. Chael, we've been screaming about this Tom Aspinall, Ciryl Gane for a long time. UFC 321, Tom minus 325, Gane plus 260. We finally got the fight, but the world doesn't seem to believe, Chael, that it's a close fight. And I don't really agree with that line. I think this fight is much closer. Tom Aspinall minus 325, Ciryl Gane plus 265.
If Tom Aspinall loses to Ciryl Gane, the heavyweight division is absolutely cooked. The heavyweight division in the UFC is already hanging on by thin ice at the moment. Legitimately, the only good fight that's interesting that I'm actually excited for in this division is Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane. Everyone is already expecting Tom Aspinall to beat Ciryl Gane, but what if he doesn't? We all built up this image of Tom Aspinall as the only person that could defeat Jon Jones. Gun to your head right now, name 10 heavyweight UFC fighters. If you're like me, you probably only got to 5. It's just not a marketable division right now, and the stakes for Tom Aspinall in this fight are just so extremely high because he has so much hype going for him right now. And if Ciryl Gane beats Tom Aspinall, I am not ready for the absolute Twitter rant that Jon Jones is going to have. I do not want Jon Jones to be validated like this. None of us do. You just know he's going to have the biggest I told you so moment if Tom does lose.
Would have beaten nearly everyone that matters, proving he is not only champion, but a man with the potential to dominate for years. Fans are already saying that if Aspinall wins, he'll run out of opponents unless names like Alex Pereira or Magomed Ankalaev move up to heavyweight.
Tom Aspinall just seems to be far ahead of all of them.
You know that him and Gane's fight is going to expose a few things, because Gane might be the only guy in that heavyweight that might match him speed-wise.
Tom?
Yes.
Tom is just going to do exactly what Kamzat did to DDP to him. We all know that Gane doesn't have any
funny enough, Tom never really
wrestles.
Does that. No, he does wrestling, but he doesn't wrestle like that. He wrestles to find a finish.
Yeah. No, yes. It might not be like a dominant wrestling the way Kamzat was, but he's going to utilize his wrestling skill against Gane. You know, Tom is a smart fighter.
I hope Gane does something, like he's able to do something, because
like throw a knee out of space or what.
Aspinall's wrestling is not very aggressive like these guys. So if he's able to stuff if 1 or 2 takedowns and then keep it on the feet, he might have a chance.
for Tom Aspinall, you said you don't really care about the belts, you really want to prove you're the best. Is there any other fighter in the heavyweight division that you feel you need to beat to prove that you are the best, other than Ciryl Gane?
Yeah, there's lots of guys. There's lots of guys, man. But I'm the kind of guy who doesn't look past my opponent. I'm very, very serious about this fight. I've been training for the last year without a break. I've had absolutely no breaks. I'm much better now than I was in my last fight, and I want to show that. But as far as other heavyweights and stuff, right now that doesn't really interest me. John Jones is retired, so I don't really have much to say on that, to be honest. So I'm fighting this guy, and this guy's really good, so I'll be as ready as I can be.
It is the... Did you know that? You can watch all fighting and boxing pay-per-view at no extra cost. On FlexVIX.com, you can and access to 1,000 live channels plus The Last of Us, movies and series at a fraction of the cost of regular services. For more information, go to FlexVIX.com or scan the QR code on the screen. Heavyweight champion of the world, the pride of Wigan, the one and only Tommy Aspinall. Tommy Aspinall, na. Tommy Aspinall, Tommy, defending his undisputed gold, technically for the very first time, against the pride of France, the French prince himself, Bon Gamin himself, the one and only Ciryl Gane. These two have been going back and forth for the better part of 2, maybe 3 years. Well, this was the fight that we all thought was going to happen in Tom's official first title defense, and so it is in fact going to happen. Tom wanted to fight in Abu Dhabi. That was the sense that we got when he became undisputed champion. He didn't want to wait for New York. Let's be honest, the tax is a little better over there in Abu Dhabi compared to New York for an Englishman, for anyone, if we're being 100% honest. And so he wanted to be active. He wanted to fight in October. He wanted to fight in Abu Dhabi. It's closer to home. And so they oblige. And you'll recall a few weeks ago I said, it's looking like Magomed and Alex, October 4th. It's looking like Tom versus Ciryl, October 25th. And it's looking like JDM versus Islam in New York. That would be the next pay-per-view. Now, that hasn't been officially announced. That hasn't been signed, sealed, and delivered. But at this point, I would be surprised, considering how the chips just fell earlier today. I would be surprised if it doesn't play out that way.
Already a sick fight card, obviously, with Tom Aspinall and Ciryl Gane, Jailton Almeida and Volkov being the co-main event. If they are just being on the fight card, they're going to be a backup fighter if anything happens to the main event. What's your thoughts on Volkov versus Gane? Sorry, Aspinall versus Gane.
I mean, I think it's the next best thing that we could get right now, with John Jones not being able to do it and stepping away. And I think it's going to be interesting to see what Tom's plan is going to be, because I think on the feet, they're pretty evenly matched. I think it could be fun on the feet, but I think there's definitely a huge advantage for Aspinall when it comes to the wrestling and the grappling. And I think he'd be silly to not at least attempt to make it a bit of a grappling match and try to get the ground and pound, take him down. And we'll see. If he can defend takedowns, it could be a lot of fun, but if not, I mean, I think Tom can make some quick work, but there's a lot of pressure on Tom, man. We were talking about it on the pre-show this weekend that, you didn't get the Jones fight. You waited all this time, and now you've got to fight somebody else. And it's always tough because you want to win that one to really prove to everybody that, yeah, you are that guy. You are the great. You are the best. You're the reason John didn't want to take this fight, blah, blah, blah. If you go and lose that one, you just...
Yeah. Well, we haven't had guests on for a little bit because I've just been all over the place and very, very busy and all the rest of it. So I'll reach out to Tom and see if we can get him on next week, and we'll start getting some guests on again. Tom isn't the type of guy that talks shit usually, but he did do a video where he was talking a little bit of shit about Ciryl Gane, saying that he wanted to fight Ciryl multiple.
I mean, if Ciryl goes out there and loses to Tom this time around, it's tough, as we know, to go and get that fourth title shot after something like this when you've dropped them like that. It's definitely a must-win situation if he wants to be the champion. Now, it's not a must-win situation in terms of his career. He's not going anywhere as long as he wants to fight. But if you want to be champ, man, especially with a guy like Tom, where you don't beat him now, there's probably not a good chance that you're going to be getting back to that one anytime soon.
Well, in terms of the matchup, they're both big men, similar sizes. They're both
Very athletic.
Very athletic. They're fast, the pair of them. They're both very coordinated. I think if I had to give an advantage to Ciryl, it'd be in the, maybe in the movement. Maybe he's a little slicker on the feet, but he's not as powerful as Tom. And Tom's certainly slick as we know. But the wrestling, the grappling side of things, it's not even a conversation. It's not a conversation. So. Tom should be able to take him down if he chooses to. So if Ciryl Gane isn't training in Dagestan for 2-3 months, years, days, weeks,
or Arkansas,
brother.
Yeah, he's just go down there with brass.
Get up there with brass. If he's not just solely working on his grappling, then he's a fool.
If Ciryl Gane wins, the story changes. He redeems himself after the brutal loss to Jon Jones. He proves he belongs at the very top, and he throws the entire division into chaos. A Gane victory could also open up possibilities for another shot at Jon Jones if Jones comes back, or even a rematch with Aspinall down the line.
Imagine if Ciryl Gane beats Tom Aspinall. So it was announced that Tom's first title defense as the undisputed champion will be against former interim champ Ciryl Gane. And although me and many others are siding with Tom, we also can't forget that this is the heavyweight division and one shot could change it all. So imagine after everything that happened at heavyweight, Ciryl Gane captures the undisputed belt. But more importantly, how would that affect Jon Jones' legacy? Because you know that if Ciryl beats Tom, Jon will use MMA math to show everyone why he never had to fight Tom since he defeated Ciryl so easily. Even if Tom wins but has a tough time in doing it, Jon will still be at it. Personally, I don't think this changes the fact that Jon was ducking Tom as he saw him as a dangerous matchup. But what do you think?
Dana White and the MMA community agree. No matter how this fight ends, the heavyweight division will look completely different afterwards. Either Aspinall solidifies himself as the unstoppable new king, or Gane resurrects his career and rewrites his legacy. The hype is real. Dana White has broken it down, the analysts have given their predictions, and now it's just a matter of time before.
Did you know that? You can watch all fighting and boxing pay-per-view at no extra cost. On FluxVIX.com, you can and access to 1,000 live channels plus The Last of Us, movies and series at a fraction of the cost of regular services. For more information, go to FluxVIX.com or scan the QR code on the screen.